What's up, Rayquazers? So we have an Ubers battle here. I hope you guys like it. Surely you like some, big dog Ubers battles going on. Punch, punch, the big guys brawling it out. Something like that. And for the comment question, please do tell me, do you think Soldu Latios will go Uber or stay OU? And the same goes for Soldu Latias as well. But the reason I say that is because Soldu is obviously out thanks to Black and White 2. And as you can see, I'm running a Latios. Not Latias. I could have ran a Latias also, but I decided to run a Latios. And so, that's pretty much why the comment question is what it is. Let's get to the battle. So, this guy was talking smack, so I'm like, okay, he thinks he's so good at Ubers, let's do this. So I'm going to lay off with Dialga, as he's going to lay off with Uxie. And we both have Groudon. Or no, he has Kyogre, I have Groudon. Sorry, that was a different battle that both people had Groudon. So he's going to go for the Trick Room, which is obviously going to make me a bit slower than his Uxie, but I decide, might as well use this to my advantage. Switch to Groudon, as I am going to be slower than the Uxie now. And Uxie's going to set up the Stealth Rocks, which I don't really care. This team's really not that weak to Stealth Rocks. The only weak thing is White Kyurem. And honestly, White Kyurem does pretty good cleanup anyway, so it's all good. So I decided to set up my Stealth Rocks as he goes for the U-turn, and I'm like, oh, I'm not really afraid. Not really afraid, and of course he's going to bring in Kyogre, because why would you not bring in a Kyogre to a Groudon? So yeah, his Drizzle gets set up. Still not too worried, however, because I can handle this. I'm good. And so basically, I am going to go ahead and switch out into my Dialga to take whatever move he decides to go for, and he goes for the Calm Mind, which kind of got me a little bit afraid, because if this is a Calm Mind with 3 attacks, this would be a devastating Kyogre. It turns out it's not, though. It turns out it's going to be the Rest Talk set, which is rather useful for me. So he's going to go for the Scald, as I believe I rain down a Draco Meteor choice, but no, I go for the Dragon Pulse. Never mind. Choice Specs Dragon Pulse, and that does nothing. Probably should have gone for the Draco Meteor, but I was thinking, I might as well stay in and get off a little bit more damage. Now that the Trick Room's gone, I can bring in Latios whenever I want to go ahead and deal with this Kyogre, or bring in something to deal with this Kyogre. Because now everything on my team's faster than this Kyogre. In fact, his team's kind of slow, honestly. I was running a somewhat fast team, he was running a slow team, so he is going to go for the rest, which, once I saw that, I knew I was going to be pretty much okay, because he brought in Rest Talk Kyogre before all the other major threats were gone. So I decided to bring in my Arceus, because it should be able to get up a Sword Stance, assuming he doesn't get the Scald, and I was kind of hoping for hacks on this one. So he gets the rest of the first turn, which is great, so I'm going to set up a Sword Stance in case he does get the Scald and lowers my attack. I probably could have gone for a Shadow Force, but really, I think that I made the good play, especially since he gets a Calm Mind, which does no damage to me whatsoever, so that is good, which means, yeah, now I can do some damage, and I bring in, I go ahead and go for the Shadow Force, which he has an Arceus as well, so I was kind of afraid he might switch to it, because it could be a normal Arceus, but it's not, apparently, because he did not switch. So I'm going to go for the Shadow Force and min damage shenanigans. Well, that's disappointing, because, yeah, I calculated it, and it was definitely min damage shenanigans. Oh well. He's at a point where I can bring in Latios for an easy revenge kill. And he'll probably think it's a Choice Specs Latios once he sees I don't take any damage from using a Thunderbolt. So I go for the Thunderbolt. And yeah, easily KO the Kyogre, which is to be expected. Thank you, Soldu Latios. And now he's going to bring in a Palkia, I guess expecting me to be either threaten me out with like Choice Scarf or something if he was, or expect me to be Choice Specs, which I'm not. I'm Soldu because it's out. And Soldu is a much better item for Latios anyway, because he still gets the 50% boost at special attack, but he also gets it on special defense, and he still gets to choose his moves. So now that I've lowered my special attack, I kind of want to save Latios for a little bit later, because he's proven to be a valuable asset, and I kind of want to make this this Arceus pretty useless. So I decided to bring in Groudon, because, you know, it's a water Arceus, I know that much. So if I bring in Groudon, that's going to weaken his water attacks, which is going to probably be his primary form of attacking. And here I was hoping not for a flinch, but look how well Groudon absorbs that waterfall. It's ×2, super effective, and look at that. Basically Groudon's a freaking beast on defense. So now I decided I'm going to bring in Dialga, and he said he was going to predict this and go for the Brick Break, which could have KO'd a Dialga, but really Dialga was attempting to be Death Fodder at this point. It just didn't work out that way. So I'm going to drop in, I believe, a Choice Specs Draco Meteor. Yep, Choice Specs Draco Meteor. I drop in on the Dialga. Doesn't KO it right away. That's all good and fun and stuff, because I should still be able to KO it with another Choice Specs Draco Meteor. And I just went for that in case he was going to go for Rest or something. I could have gone for the Aura Spear also, but I kind of wanted to keep the Aura Spear secret in case there was something that would be usable against. Of course there's not, because I'm running Fire Blast Aura Spear instead of running Thunder, because I have a Groudon to deal with the basically deal with the good old Drizzle problem, so it's all good. So he is going to set up Trick Room, which I kind of slightly predicted, so I'm like, hey, let's use this to my advantage. Get the Stone Edge off and get a crit, which is lucky for me because it would have taken 2 of those to actually KO an Oopsie. And so I get rid of the good old Oopsie, and now Celebi's going to come in. And I'm like, don't want to take any damage on that. And Celebi comes in. Really, I'm kind of trying to use Dialga as Death Fodder. It's just not really working too much. And Celebi goes for a Calm Mind. Okay, then go for that Calm Mind, because guess what? I have Fire Blast, and it's going to be a Specs Fire Blast in the sun. This Celebi's not going to be living this. I mean, look at that. Bam! Down, down, and out for the count. Ah, so beautiful. But he obviously knows I'm Choice Specs after that. Even if, you know, me switching out kind of gives it away as well, but yeah, he obviously knows I'm Choice Specs, so I switch into Groudon, and when you know his Arceus gets another Parahax, and he is going to forfeit the match, because I was going to bring in White Kyurem, and basically show off White Kyurem, but that didn't happen, so sad, no White Kyurem show off. Oh well, maybe I'll get a White Kyurem show off on the next Supers battle I have with his team. But that is going to be all. Let me know in the comments if you think Latias and Latios will go to Uber because of Soldew. And that's it. See ya.